And welcome to the Spring Valley Shooting Range and Outdoor Education Center. This will be one of our first events, really, especially as a group we've gotten to come together, so welcome. And I just want to say just a quick thing about, we're so excited about this Outdoor Education Center, that it really just showcasing how the department and how the department acts resources and the Division of Wildlife, the commitment to shooting sports, conservation, and really teaching about outdoor skills. So welcome. Feel free to look around and any questions let myself or Chris Mangan know. I just want to take a quick second to thank the Chris Mangan and the shooting range team. They did just a fantastic job getting ready for today. And also Spring Valley Wildlife Area, that staff has always helped us out tremendously over the years, and thank you for all that, making this really a state-of-the-art facility that's going to be here for years and years to come. So thank you for all that. With that said, I'd like to introduce Division of Wildlife Chief Kendra Wecker. Chief.
Thank you, Rick. Please join me and stand as a Wildlife Officer Honor Guard posts the colors. Remain standing for the Honor Guard to carry the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? Ho! Freeze in. Ho!
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Ho!
You may be seated. So thank you for joining us this morning for this momentous occasion and another mark in the healing process. Kevin, we are very proud of you and all the hard work during your recovery, and I pledge our ongoing support to you. As a wildlife agency, a key part of who we are is the willingness to serve others. And part of that service includes taking care of your peers. And we pride ourselves as a wildlife family on making this a priority. I deeply appreciate all of you in this room today for your continued support and kindness to Kevin and Kathy. Thank you to the officer support team for the countless phone calls and discussions to responding wildlife officers, natural resources officers, and dispatchers in the aftermath of December 20th. The officer support team consists of extraordinary, caring men and women who are willing to bear some of the emotional trauma inflicted on their colleagues. This is another example of our family taking care of each other. I respect the professionalism of our law enforcement officers and the public safety personnel as they manage to navigate an emotionally charged scene to complete their job that evening. Many different agencies responded. Many different agencies responded and banded together to ensure that we identified those responsible for shooting Kevin. We appreciate the thorough investigation of this shooting by Clinton County Sheriff Pfizer and Major Prickett. Wildlife investigator Joel Fuddlemeyer played a crucial role in supporting the investigation, and we value this collaboration. In addition, we are grateful for the pursuit of justice from both the offices of Clinton County Prosecutor Andrew McCoy and the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Ohio. As the wheels of justice turn purposefully through the process, we will remain steadfast. While the shooting has not allowed Kevin to return to the job yet as a wildlife investigator, we thank God every day. He is here as a husband to Kathy, father to Jack, Owen, and Allie, and is still called upon as son, brother, and friend. And these are the many titles he holds beyond the uniform. All three wildlife officers will attest they were just doing their jobs that night and certainly never sought recognition. But these three men stand as representatives of the training, dedication, and commitment to their peers, the public, and Ohio's wildlife displayed routinely by the Division of Wildlife. Please join me in welcoming ODNR Director Mary Mertz as she presents the Award of Valor.
Thank you, Kendra. So, I remember December 20th. Maybe not as vividly as the three award winners or as Kevin, and I'm so glad you're here today. So glad you're here. Why don't we give him a hand? But unlike the officers who are receiving awards, I was at home, right? Christmas was coming, and all of a sudden I get a call from Steve Gray, which usually is a good thing, but on occasion, not so much. And he told me that wildlife investigator Kevin Behr had been shot and was being med-flooded to Cincinnati. There weren't a lot of details at first. We didn't know Kevin's condition. We didn't know how it was all going to play out. And we didn't know what had led to the shooting at that point. So at that point it was just shocking. It was heartbreaking. It was terrifying. I feel a great sense of responsibility for all of you. So I can't tell you everything I said or everything I asked. Knowing me, I asked a lot of questions that we didn't have answers to at that point. But the one thing I did know, I asked Steve if Kevin was alone. And because I knew that answer would tell me so much more. It would tell me how quickly he got help. It would tell me he was comforted in the field. And it would tell me whether I could just exhale that things were under control. And as we now know, Kevin wasn't alone. Three other officers were right there by his side. And in the hours and days that followed, I received a lot of briefings, and they were all pretty scary. But the thing over and over I heard was how the other officers on scene rendered aid so quickly. They acted quickly, they acted decisively, and they acted with bravery. Now, I always knew we had skilled officers. I have no doubt about that, and I knew you were well trained, but I am grateful for the heroism that you showed in those critical moments. Wildlife Officer Matt Roberts was first on the scene, immediately rendering first aid to his fellow officer. Removed equipment and clothing, worked to comfort Investigator Behr, assuring him he'd be okay, while calling in for emergency medical assistance, including the medical helicopter. And then Wildlife Officer Jason Keller joined Roberts, rendering aid, providing comfort, assisting the arriving paramedics to stabilize Kevin for transport, and helping to bring the injured officer out of the brushy area to the waiting ambulance. And then, of course, Wildlife Officer Eric Lamb, who had returned home but was notified of the emergency and quickly responded to the calls for help. So arriving at the scene, he too provided aid and comfort, assured Officer Behr he was going to be okay. Officer Lamb cleared a path through the brushy area, assisted the arriving paramedics to stabilize Kevin for transport, and brought the injured officer out to a waiting ambulance. So on that cold day in a field in Clinton County, these 3 men saved Kevin Behr's life. So in the days, weeks, and months that followed, I've seen something that is as impressive as what happened in the field. And that's all of you coming together to support Kevin's wife, Kathy, and his family, and you supported each other through this experience. So Kevin and Kathy, I hope you felt that support from your fellow officers, all of us at ODNR. We've been praying for you and are incredibly thankful that you're here today. So our officers go through so much training, but these are the times you just can't train for, right? You can't train people to be brave. You can't train them to be compassionate or empathetic or kind. Those are just gifts. And I've seen them in the moments that have followed this terrible experience. So the work you do every day, it's a calling, it's a passion, and sometimes it's a sacrifice. You see some really tough things. You see some things that no one should ever see. So I want you to know that I recognize that. We all do. And we're so incredibly grateful for your willingness to serve and to protect. So thank you for what you do. So today, we're here to honor 3 men for their valor, for their courage in the face of danger. And I can think of no 3 people more deserving. So I'd like to bring them up one at a time and present them with the award and thank them for all that they have done. So let's start with Jason Keller.
So thank you. We didn't stage this, obviously.
No, we didn't.
Working on it.
We also have his family here with us today, which we're very happy to have him here.
And next, let's have Eric Lamb. If you want to bring your family too. And our 3rd award winner, Matt Robbins.
Thank you, Director, for bestowing this honor on these gentlemen. We really appreciate it, and we're very proud of them, as we are all of our staff and our wildlife officers particularly. So please join us now as we conclude the ceremony. We're going to host a lunch today, and it's hosted by the FOP Wildlife Officer Lodge 143 and the Whitetails Unlimited Caesars Creek chapter. And please take a moment to speak with the officers as well as Kevin and Kathy here, and we're so delighted to have them here with us in person. Thank you very much for attending.